they stand for? I mean, you know, in the Senate race, you got DeWine, or you got Renacci and Gibbons. Neither one of them has any name recognition, especially down here. When you say to somebody, what do you think about Renacci for Senate? Do they even know who he is?
I hope not.
You know, that's the question. What do we know? So let's move on to this race. That's the Senate race.
Wow.
That's what the leadership said.
Is that the Tea Party?
Those are the leaders of the Tea Party movement in Ohio. That's what they've decided. Okay? Now, you got to remember, Renacci had been running for governor, just moved to Senate. Okay? The Trump support wasn't totally clear, right? So we're going to see how this moves. We're going to see what's going on, because do I really want to go against the president? Do I? Do you? Do you want me to? Do you want me to stand up to Donald Trump and say, you want this guy and we don't? I will tell you, I'm not afraid to do that. Because I got news for you. Donald Trump needs you more than we need him. Flat out. He ain't going to win Ohio in 2020 without you. Doesn't happen. Okay?
Yeah, but Gibbons announced before Trump endorsed Bernice. So
Gibbons has been running.
So my point is that he shouldn't be looked at as though he's against the president, because he is running his campaign before he knew that the president would endorse Bernice.
Without any doubt about it.
That's the fact.
But without a doubt, the question is what we do. The question is, are we going to go against the president? Because right now, I've endorsed Mike Gibbons, and that endorsement stands. And the president was here in Cincinnati saying, you know, Renacci's my guy.
Was Bernice here?
Yes, he was.
Came on the plane with him.
Came on the plane with him.
He came on the plane with him. He was here. Is that right? Yeah, he's going to be speaking in Anderson tomorrow. I can see that. So again, here's the question: what do we do? What do we do in this situation? Right? Because I told you what are our priorities. What's our priority for 2018?
The House.
Keep the House and Senate. That's not the House. That is the Senate, but it's a seat that we don't have now. So we don't have, you know, if we don't win it, we're not any worse off, right? So it's in a little different category, but there's no Sherrod Brown fans here, I don't think, right? So we'd like to win that race. And we certainly were looking forward to Josh. I mean, it's so crushing. We got 6 years invested in Josh Mandel. To have him out was devastating to us. That's where our energy was going to come from. And poof. And then I got, you know, musical chairs going on here, okay? But this is what I'm doing every day. This is what I'm trying. They're calling me and saying, we need you to do this. We want you to do that. You got to talk to him. You know, this is what I'm doing every day. You're going through this right now. You're hearing what I'm hearing, what they're asking us to do. Because they all need you. The question is, do we want to commit to one or the other?
What are the major differences between Renacci and Gibbons?
Renacci is definitely a moderate. Okay, you look at his voting record. Okay, he's really pretty much just in the middle of the field. Okay, he's a lot like Trump. Jim is a businessman, and what do businessmen want? They want to do deals. They want to get something done. So the difference between Jim Renacci and Jim Jordan is Jim Jordan's about his beliefs, his values, his ideology. He will not vote for something that offends his values. Trump and Renacci will say, hey, half a deal is better than no deal, right? And so when I talk to Jim, and I've talked to Jim throughout his whole time in Congress, before every vote, I would say he voted the way I wanted about 50% of the time, okay? Now, he always listens to me. He always lets me make my case. He's a very honest man, okay? But that is his mentality. I need to move the ball. And he keeps saying, Tom, you guys are just obstructionists. You're not getting anything done. You know, we got to move the ball. How many of you doubt at all that no matter what piece of crap they would have passed last year and called healthcare reform, that Trump would have signed it and taken credit for it? He doesn't care what's in it. He's trying to check the box. I did healthcare reform, I promise. Whoop, check. Okay? That's just the way he thinks. That's not good enough for us. Okay? For us, we're trying to move our country in a certain direction. So I've told like the Wall Street Journal, people like that, I said, think of it this way. Trump is a big old limousine plowing down the highway 100 miles an hour, and we're the guardrails. Our job is to keep them on track, okay? We ain't telling them where to go, but we ain't letting them drift too far off, okay? That's our job. So there's going to be times when we're going to fight them, okay? And there's going to be other times where we're going to say, okay, we can go here. Go.
Which one would be stronger against Brown?
That's a good question. They obviously feel that Renacci would be stronger against Brown. You've already had...
Can you repeat the question?
Go.
I just can't get over there with this.
Oh, I'm sorry. He asked which one would be stronger against Sherrod Brown. Okay? And they obviously feel Renacci would be stronger because he's been in Congress, he's a practiced politician, you know, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And they're going to support him. So they feel like he could be a strong, you know, candidate against Brown. Gibbons, on the other hand, lives in Northeast Ohio, okay, knows Brown, and he's in this race because he thinks Josh Mandel was too young and wouldn't be able to beat Brown. Okay, so he came into the race because he wanted Sherrod Brown to lose, and he's willing to spend his own money to do it. Okay? So that's kind of an interesting piece of this puzzle. But he's inexperienced. Okay? But I'll tell you what happened that's, I think, very important. When Mike Gibbons came to our house to meet us, which is what I try to do with as many people as possible, sit him on the couch, let's hear it, okay? He's worth $110 million, right? And he says, you know, hey, I want to run for Senate. I've never run for anything before, okay? And my answer is, yeah, right. Okay, I've heard this a million times. You don't even know what you're getting into. You have no idea what you're about to do. Well, I'm serious. I want to do this. And he has good reasons for wanting to do it. One of them is his son is now in the Navy. He's a Navy pilot. And he's actually getting his wings on Friday, and he can't be at the State Central Committee meeting because he's flying down to see his son get his Navy wings. Okay, so now he's got a whole different appreciation for public service because his son's in the Navy and may have to go fight. So anyway, he tells me this, you know, I'm going to do this and I'll work hard, and you know, he told me about his companies and his reputation, all that stuff. And he's a great guy. He's a nice guy. But prove it. So what I did is I sent him on a journey to come speak to every bloody group you can name. All right? I said, go, prove me. Tell me you want to work hard. You're worth $110 million. Tell me you want to work hard. So I sent him around the state. Now I have done the same thing with Jim Renacci. Right? We had a We the People convention last June where all the governor candidates showed up, and Jim Renacci was a person we were backing. We voted at that event, and I did the same thing with Jim Renacci. Mike Gibbons goes all over the state. He and his wife drive themselves, no limo, none of that crap, okay? He's a real down-to-earth guy. They drive all over the state. And all I got was phone calls and emails saying, we love this guy. Now, he wasn't going into oblivion. He was going to people who had been supporting Josh Mandel for 6 years and loved Josh Mandel, right? And Josh Mandel was expected to run. And he was going to talk to people who already were biased towards Josh, and they were writing me going, we love this guy, okay? Now, I did not get the same response from Jim Renacci. Jim Renacci came to speak at the Portage County Tea Party, and we had a nice crowd, and he's very knowledgeable, but he's a CPA. It's like being with your accountant. He went for 45 minutes, there wasn't a single applause line. Literally. So people would go to me and go, geez, I don't know about this Renacci guy, okay? He's right on policy, but he's, you know, wouldn't want to go to, you know, yeah, I'm over for a picnic. Okay, now he has improved. I just saw him speak recently at the Cuyahoga Valley Republicans, and he had some humor, and he looked good, and he told a little bit of his story about he didn't want to run for governor or for Senate, he wanted to run for governor, and people related to that. So he's getting better, okay? But the reason I think, you know, that we're at this disparity right here is because of that likability factor. I think that was the big difference, okay? Honestly, I don't have a problem with either one of them. Whoever would win, I would fight with them to, you know, to beat Sherrod Brown. I really think they're both, you know, great people, and I'm not embarrassed of either one of them. And I hope it doesn't get too nasty, okay? Because I don't think they deserve that. I think, you know, they're both good candidates. But the question is, are we going to pick one or the other, okay? And as I say, I already have an endorsement out there for another reason. Yes, sir.
Have you talked with Gibbons, though? Don't you think he's more conservative?
Yeah, I believe that Mike Gibbons would have a stronger voting record for us. I believe that he loves you guys. I mean, every time we talk to him, he talks to me about, the Tea Party. He actually goes to Republican events and says, hey, I'm more Tea Party than I am Republican. Not very smart. Like I told you, he's a freaking politician. Don't do that, okay? Don't say that. It's not going to help you, okay? But he does it because he loves you guys. He has Tea Party values. He believes the same things we believe, okay? So, but again, when you get in that pressure cooker of government, okay, there's a lot of things that can affect you. And what's impressive to me about Mike Gibbons is you're not going to be able to buy him. You don't need your money, okay? And he's pretty much that kind of a guy. Now, he is a businessman, and I think he's got some of it's better to do a deal than not do a deal, okay? But the deal that I understand, and one of the things that has Mitch McConnell not happy with Mike Gibbons is because he had a petition on his website to remove McConnell as the speaker. They didn't like that. And they made it very clear they didn't like that. So, in the category of how to influence people, that's not how you do it, okay? But again, it's more honest. So I was happy to see that, okay? So that's our situation, yeah.
The question I have is, I have seen no advertisements or anything else from Gibbons.
Right.
When is he going to reach out to the southern part of Ohio?
Yes. Now, interestingly, Gibbons actually ran a bunch of TV commercials during Ohio State football games during the fall. He did spend some money, and he did that. But he hasn't been on statewide TV since. And honestly, Renacy hasn't either. Renacy came out with that ad, it was like a cat thing, okay, which I was not happy with. But, he came out with that. So, it's, neither one of them have. And I've been really frustrated by that. Because you're really talking about two people. I have better name recognition than them, okay? I mean, probably because all the hate stuff in the Cincinnati newspaper, okay, when they talk about me, but people at least know my name, okay? And I said to Renacy last summer, I said, Jim, take whatever, $100,000 and just do a 10-second radio commercial and put it on every bloody AM station in the state that just says, hey, who's this Renacy guy? I don't know. Well, I think he's running for governor. How do you say that? Renacy. He's running for governor? Yeah, look it up. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. 10-second commercial. Run it until people are sick of it. You know what? They'll know your name and they'll know you're running for governor. They didn't do it. They didn't do it.
Say, are you going to interview them on your radio show?
Probably not. Probably not. I'll tell you what. Go ahead.
Well, what about the conservative review given Renacy an F?
Well, so there you go, okay?
Yeah.
There you go.
Talk about
I mean, if you look at his heritage score, you look at conservative review, this is what I meant when I said, when I talked to him, on issues that are really important, he only voted with me maybe 50% of the time. He's a moderate, okay? Now, Sherrod Brown's a 10. Okay, I mean, Sherrod Brown's a minus whatever. I mean, if Renacy's a 53, Sherrod Brown's a 10. Okay, so yeah, would I rather have him than not? Yeah. And if the president's going to get behind him and fly him on his plane to come campaign for him? Yeah. Okay. So again, we got to be careful about that.
I was just meaning like comparing him to Gibson.
Right, Gibbons is not going to have that low a score. He's just not. He's got some issues that he wants to do with. Yeah.
It's my understanding that Gibbons is not very conservative about the social issues. One thing he said to that.
Okay. This is very important, okay? And I want you to take it in the vein that I say, okay? I love Lori Byers. Lori Byers and I have been friends for a long time. I have a ton of respect for her, okay? But I'm going to just tell you the flat-out truth. So when they first came out with this, that he's not really pro-life, okay, that because there was an article that came out that where he was quoted as being pro-people. It was in the Washington Times, okay? And so she took that article and she put out a lot of stuff to Tea Party people. I called Mike Gibbons and I said, Mike, you got to call Lori Byers because I know this isn't accurate, and you got to talk to her and answer whatever questions she asks you. Here's her phone numbers. He called her 3 times. She never talked to him and wouldn't call him back. I wrote to her and said, Lori, you've got to call Mike Gibbons back. You haven't talked to him, and I know he's called you. She never called him, okay? I got a problem with that. That's not fair, okay? So here's what I'm going to tell you about that story. Here's the real deal, okay? Now, first of all, he's not pro-life. His mother was adopted. I think he's pretty pro-life, okay? But let's go one step further. Mike's a Catholic, okay? During this interview, he told them he's pro-life. He's against abortion. He said, however, I have a problem with Catholics. I'm a Catholic. Our problem is we say, don't get an abortion, but then if the girl has a baby out of wedlock, we treat her like a slut. That's wrong. We need to take care of them and say, thank you for not getting an abortion. That was a bad decision, but we love you, and the church embraces you. And the woman interviewing him said, so you're really kind of pro-people. And he said, yeah, I'm pro-people. That's the quote as he remembers it, okay? Now, I wasn't there. I don't know there's a transcript. But I don't think Mike would lie to me, okay? But let me put it this way. Whether that's totally true or not, they're both Catholics. And Catholics aren't evangelical Christians.